So, hello and welcome to this fifth guided meditation related to the hindrances, the 5 obstacles to staying awake, aware in the present moment. And the 5 are desire, sensual desire and greed, ill will, aversion, then sloth and torpor. I call it rigidity and torpor. And then restlessness and remorse. And then the last one today, it's usually translated as doubt. But it has, the ancient meaning is closer to not seeing, not understanding what needs to be done. And so that our choice of where to put our life energy goes to something which does not serve us. The ancient texts say that one knows what serves and what doesn't serve. And so what serves us the most? And to answer that question, the texts talk about someone who has this so-called doubt, doesn't understand, doesn't reflect, their way of understanding does not come from a profound source within them. That it's more surface thinking, where the mind jumps around, is distracted. So you would say that if someone spends a lot of time fantasizing about pleasures, and something in their mind thinks that's important, that that's something that we should serve, the pursuit of pleasures. We don't think that way consciously, but apparently something within us thinks that, otherwise why would we do it? Someone who is profoundly connected to themselves will understand that the way to serve ourselves is to wake up, is to be really present and clear, to really, this is what's happening. A definitiveness, a clarity of here I am, and here, this is what's happening. So it's not choosing to do anything more than being clear about here, this is a person, this is a mind that's involved in fantasy. But just to check that off, like just to know it doesn't count for much. But to know it from some kind of place we know this is important, this waking up. And this deeper place of knowing of what to serve and not to serve also knows something about, yes, it's valuable to develop steadiness and stability. It's valuable to be grounded here so I can see clearly. So I will give myself to breathing or some other object of present moment attention that is our home base, our anchor. Yes, here. So knowing what to serve and what not to serve. And sometimes we certainly can have doubt about what that is, but sometimes we're just off. We're serving things that don't serve us. We're giving our life energy to what doesn't serve us well. So, to begin our meditation, and maybe closing your eyes, and feeling your body here, the weight of your body, the substance of your body, the 3-dimensionality of your body. And then, in a moment, taking a deep breath, and as you exhale, say to yourself in your mind, here I am. And have a definitive recognition of the simple fact that here is where you sit. Here is where you are. So with a deep breath on the exhale, here. And taking a deep breath, and as you exhale, relaxing into here. Softening the shoulders, the belly. Relaxing the muscles of your face. Here. And then letting your breathing return to normal. And continue relaxing a bit, softening. But as you relax into the depth within you. Softening into some place of deep stability, deep steadiness, deep at-homeness here. As you exhale, relaxing the thinking mind, softening, quieting the thinking mind. Here. And you might, during this meditation, say gently this word here. Maybe added by here. This is what it's like now. Here. This is what it's like now. As a clear alternative to wandering off in thought, being distracted, or being involved with your experience in ways which don't serve you, which involve greed or craving, wanting, which involve aversion, ill will, which involve shutting down or allowing something to run off with your worries and regrets. Keeping it really simple, that the way you serve yourself is to just be here. This is how it is now. And then giving yourself over to the breathing. You serve yourself well by centering yourself on breathing in and breathing out. You serve yourself well by staying mindful. And to have no doubt about that. To know that this serves you. So that you can give yourself over to being mindful here with whatever is happening. Here with the ongoing flow of breathing. And as we come to the end of this sitting, to again gently, just the right amount for you and how you are now, take a deeper breath, and on the exhale, relax and let go into here, into the here which is found in and through your body. If there are any ways that you are bracing yourself against life, on the exhale, soften that tension. And where in your realm of your personal subjective experience of body and mind, do you find a place of calm, a sense of depth or intimacy? Where inside of you, in your subjective experience, is the source for living a life of integrity? On the exhale, letting go into that source, or letting go into where it feels intimate and at homeness within you. And then with your eyes closed, let your eyes rest in their sockets, almost as if the eyes can settle back into a deeper place inside of calm or peace or even integrity, the source of stability. And from there, let the eyes, imagine the eyes, are now gazing upon the suffering world that we live in, without losing their ease, their depth, the integrity. Just gazing upon the world with care, compassion, kindness, wishing well for everyone. May all beings be free of suffering. May all beings be free of poverty and oppression. May all beings be free of war and violence. May all beings know that there are people who care. Let all beings know there is kindness in this world. And may we, as we go through this world, may we be calm and peaceful, gazing upon the suffering world with kindness, bringing kindness as medicine in our actions, our speech, and our thoughts. May all beings be happy. Thank you. So, sometimes I have to wait here a few moments for the recorder that we have to somehow upload or process or do something with the recording before I can start the recorder again. And while we're waiting, I just want to mention that tomorrow I'm teaching a online retreat, a day-long retreat on mindfulness of the body through the Insight Retreat Center. If you go on the Insight Retreat Center website, you'll find there under retreats a listing for day-long retreats, and you're welcome to join, and you're welcome to join for any part of it. It'll be on Zoom. So let's see what we have here. So today the topic is the fifth hindrance, which is usually referred to as doubt. As far as I know, all the English translators and teachers refer to this as doubt. The meaning of the ancient word is somehow it means to think in faulty ways, think in unskillful ways. And that's how the ancient commentary understands it. It's a way of thinking, it says, quoting them, that knows the distinction between what is skillful and not skillful, what serves us and what doesn't serve us, or what should be served and what should not be served with our life energy. And it's very useful to understand this fifth hindrance as doubt, because it's an obstacle that many people are struggling with, especially I think maybe more so for practitioners in the West who come to Buddhism to meditate, because it's all a little strange. We're doing something that is maybe different than what we grew up with, even the values we grew up with, the religion we grew up with, and maybe it's also very different from the values of our society. And so, and what we've been taught by society about what's important, and even what we taught by our society about who we are and what we should be about, with our desires, our aversions, our wishes, our way we think about ourselves. And so when we start settling in practice, it's natural to have doubt, have uncertainty, and not know how to go forward, and not know where to commit ourselves, what activity to give ourselves to. And should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Should I be, I can't let go of my, the anger, resentment I've carried all my life, and but here I'm practicing, and they're telling me to, let go, or to be mindful of it, or settle more deeply, and I don't know who I am, and what should I do? So there can be doubt about the practice, doubt about the teachings, doubt about oneself and one's ability to practice. And it's said that this kind of doubt can derail us from doing the practice. But the important thing I want to emphasize here, doing the practice, that the way that the ancients, Buddhists understood this fifth hindrance, it was a kind of faulty thinking that sets us off in the wrong direction. It's thinking which is not very profound, which doesn't arise out of our wisdom or out of the yoniso manasikara, out of the profound way of thinking from somehow in our depths. When I began meditating on my own in college, I started doing it twice a day, and I had good reasons to do it. I was suffering, and I wanted to somehow deal with my suffering. And then an unusual thing happened after practicing it for many months, is when I was meditating, the suffering that I was trying to contend with just wasn't there anymore. It wasn't I had solved it or figured it out, and it didn't actually go away so much in my daily life, but in meditation it was no longer there. And since I'm kind of like to have reasons for things, I wondered, why am I still meditating? And I felt compelled to meditate. It just felt like the right thing to do, and I had no doubts about that I should do it, but I didn't have the reasons, and I thought that was really strange. And so I lived with this kind of question for a while, and then one day I felt, oh, what's happening here is that when I sit down to meditate, this is the most profound expression of myself, just that it's available to me, that's no different than the way that an artist expresses herself with paints, or an artist expresses themselves with dancing, or someone plays a musical instrument. That it's a kind of expression that is fulfilled in the moment. It isn't like for a purpose beyond itself. And it just felt like this beautiful expression of somehow the depths, or somehow my wholeness, or for me, I used the word integrity at the time. And then the task for me became, how do I bring that sense of wholeness, integrity, the sense of that what wanted to be expressed from my depths into my whole life outside of meditation? And so then the question was, how do I speak? How do I present myself to other people? What are the things I do with my life? What are the actions I do? The question was, when I sit down to meditate, what is it that connects me to this? What is it that comes out of this feeling of depth that I have, that feels wholesome, that feels healthy, that feels this is a meaningful way to live a life, is to come from this feeling of connectedness and presence, and that came out of here. And it gave a direction to my life, and it gave a clarity about what I was doing in meditation. There was, I'm here to sit and wake up and be present, to relax and open to this depth that's within, this place of freedom from contraction. I'm here to no longer live with tension, no longer live with craving and desire, no longer live with conceit. All these things I could feel were diminishing myself, making myself less than I actually am in some way. And so it became very clear that when my mind started drifting off in thought, and those thoughts didn't serve myself, I knew it. Oh, they were kind of an ouch. They were kind of like the diminishment of the wholeness, the fullness of who I am. And so of course I wanted to return here, to this moment, here. And I found it was so profound just to say the word here. Here I am. This is how it is now. We're sitting in the here-ness of the moment. That there was something very profound, even if the here-ness of the moment was my suffering, or was thoughts that were unskillful. In saying out here and just being alive, being present, feeling the totality of it, and somehow, I was no longer participating in it, but I was also not condemning it. I was not fighting it. I was not just, I'm here with it, not giving into it. So I had clarity. So part of this fifth hindrance, and as I'm talking about the hindrances overall for this week, have a lot to do with action. The Buddha was said to be a teacher of action. How do we act? How do we engage? What do we do with our life energy? Meditation can often be seen as passivity, like we're not supposed to do anything. It's not right. In Buddhist meditation is an action, it's an activity that we engage in. It's one we engage in a peaceful way, in a calm way. It's one we engage in that stills and quiets the overactive mind. The mind might become quiet and peaceful, but our action is still very peaceful and calm and settled, soft, but it's still showing up in an activity. It's still being here. At some point, this inner expression of life coming through us, to be alive, to be present, is not something we do self-consciously. It's just here, flowing through us. But it's still an activity that we're here, showing up here, being here in this full way. So this last hindrance, often called doubt, sometimes more interestingly considered to be indecisiveness, not knowing what to decide, what to do. But in the original text, the original teachings, it was more than those. It was faulty thinking, the kind of thinking that doesn't understand what is for our best and what's best for the world, how to show up for ourselves any moment in a healthy way, in a skillful way, and not to know that. And the ancient text talks, the way we know that is not from the surface mind, not from the mind that thinks in shallow ways, jumping around, and the mind that thinks from, anxiety or worry or kind of greed or hatred, but the mind that's deep, the mind that kind of a deep source within, that's settled, that's peaceful. That's not easy to have, but that's part of the function of meditation, is to wake up, relax, get settled, create a sense of unity or harmony or wholeness with being here, where we're not divided against ourselves. We don't divide ourselves, fragment ourselves by our desires and aversions, by our fears and our shutting downs, by our restlessness and our regrets. We do the opposite. We show up for all of it, warts and all, but from this profound place of wholeness, of integrity, of willingness to kind of open and feel. So to have vichiketta, I think it's pronounced in Pali, to have this harmful way of thinking, faulty way of thinking that gets in the way of doing the practice because it takes us in the wrong direction. And so we're called upon not to read Buddhist texts so we have no doubt about, what the teachings are about. We're called upon to develop the inner sensitivity that we can understand from our own inner experience. This is healthy. Not only is it healthy, but if we're going to serve something profound, serve this health, serve this wholesomeness. It's the same health and wholesomeness that will support you to serve and care for the suffering of this world. The world needs us. It needs us to do this healthy work so that in small ways and big ways we can make a difference in this world, a difference in making it a better place for everyone. So thank you for this week of exploring the hindrances. I hope this was useful for you. And I'll be back here on Monday for continuing this, what I'm calling part 2 of Introduction to Mindfulness Meditation. And thank you.